Hey everybody, my name is Jordan, and in today's video, I'm just gonna be going through what a day looks like for myself practicing the piano, how I plan for it, what I do during my practice, and kind of just habits I implement to make sure that I'm making the most out of my time. And so that's all that I'm gonna be going through today. Hey everybody, the most important part of a good practice routine is making sure that you have a great plan the night before. So days that I don't plan my day the night before, I get up, and I might get up early, but it's just kind of aimless and without purpose. Whereas the days that I am really intentional about how I want to spend my day and how I want to act, I find that those days I get so much more achieved. So right now it is 9:30 at night, which I know doesn't seem late at all, but for me it's quite late because usually I'm in bed by 9 and getting ready to go to sleep. So I stayed up a little bit later to make sure that I had this all nice and planned out. So for my practice schedule, Wednesday is actually one of my busiest days of the week because I actually have my piano lesson with my teacher, and that's in Greenville. So it's like a 50-minute drive for me, and it's an hour lesson, and then I drive back, and then I teach. I think I have 7 lessons tomorrow, so I'll be teaching from 3 to 6:30, and then I'm done for the day. So it's really not too bad. But so I need to really make sure that I'm spending my time wisely in the morning because I have to leave the house by 9:45, so I really don't have that much time in the morning. So the way I journal for my days, and I'll show you, is I just put, it's a little bit different every day, but I'll put the task at the top. That's what I need to achieve today. On the right side of the page, I like to say why, just because saying what I'm gonna do is one thing, but then saying why I wanna do it kind of makes it real. And even if it's not really anything meaningful, just writing something down makes me more intrinsically motivated to make sure that it happens. So as you can see in my practice schedule, I'm gonna warm up for 30 minutes. And I think warming up for that amount of time is super important, especially for me. I'm really trying to work on my technique. One of the pieces I have is Moonlight Sonata third movement, and my hands are nowhere near the speed that I need to be. So I've been spending tons of time warming up just to get the muscle memory and my hand strength. I want to get it like 30 beats per minute faster than it is right now. My technique is probably at around 110 to 115 beats per minute, playing scales at like 16th notes, and I want to get that up to like 150, 160 in the next 6 months to a year. So I've been spending tons of time with warm-ups and technique, and I'll show you what that means tomorrow morning. It'll be in just a second for you guys. For the next one, I'm working on a Bach invention, which my teacher just gave me like 2 weeks ago, but it's a fairly easy piece for my skill level, so I wanted to have the whole thing learned by the time I see him tomorrow morning, which I'm really close to. So really what I'm gonna be spending my time is with deep focused metronome practicing. The piece plays at around 126 beats per minute, but I wanna be able to play it confidently at around 80, and then I'll spend the next week bringing it up to speed. I love to learn the entire piece at a moderate tempo, and that way it exposes any mistakes and really make sure that I have it and it's controlled and not rushed. And then once I have it perfect, then I like to bring it up to the tempo that it's supposed to be. The next thing I'm gonna be doing is Moonlight Sonata third movement. I'm about 40 measures into the piece, and it's starting to get really, really challenging. So I'm pretty much just gonna be reviewing tomorrow so that I can present that to my teacher. There's a Chopin piece I'm working on. I'll show that to you tomorrow. And then just because I really want to have the whole Bach piece finished, I'm going to spend an extra 15 minutes on that. So let's see, I have 2 hours altogether. And then I'm going to take a break for breakfast. And if you'll notice, I put little check marks next to them because I love being able to check things off whenever I've done it. I'm going to get ready, review my pieces one last time, and then I'm going to go to my piano lesson. I'm going to edit and post this video next. And then I teach lessons for 3.5 hours, which isn't bad at all. Go home, relax and reflect, and then bed by 9:30. And then you'll see on the right side of the page I have why. And then general goals. So at the bottom of the page, if I have extra room, I'll just kind of write general things that I want to be good at that aren't necessarily like time reliant or part of the list of things I need to do. Just things that I want to get done or the person I want to be. And then as you see on the right side of the page, I just have a very general plan for my YouTube script of this video that I'm gonna make tomorrow. And the only reason I did that is because I know that when I get up at 6:15, I'm not gonna have the same creative energy I do right now. it's just gonna be, I'm gonna get up and get to work. So also you can see in this general rule, the first thing I did was set everything up for least resistance. If you wake up in the morning and don't have a plan, it's gonna be really hard to get going. And so what I like to do, so before I go to bed, I'm gonna set everything up that I need in the practice room. I'm gonna set my tripod up so I'm just ready to film with my camera. And I'm even gonna pack my stuff up so that I'm ready to go right to Brett's house for my lesson. I'm gonna get all my stuff for my lessons tomorrow in the backpack ready to go. So I have as little work to do as possible so I can just focus on having a good, productive day. And my cat was helping me take notes. He used to be in some of my older videos when I was living at my apartment. He would always be in the background, but he's not around as much anymore. So say hello, Joey. I'm gonna go to bed now. I will check in with you guys in the morning. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a few hours. All right, I made it and I'm up, ready to go. I'm just making some tea right now, but it's 6:14, so I don't have to be to practice till 6:15, so I'll see you guys in just a second. And also just adding to the importance of creating a plan before time, because I was really tired this morning. And when my alarm went off at 6, I really wanted to go back to sleep, but I made out my plan last night, and it's kind of like making a contract with yourself, and you have to follow through. So I really recommend doing that. All right, so I'm here. It's like 6:17, I'm a couple minutes late, but I'm about to get into my warm-ups. I have my to-do list right here, so I can just quickly reference that. My first thing is warm up for 30 minutes. But since this is a full practice routine video, the first thing I do before I practice is I take a second to be grateful. And I take some deep breaths to get my mind really grounded first. And I use this timer. Whoops, I just started it. And the reason why is because if I use my phone timer, which I do sometimes, when my phone timer goes off, I'm really likely to like scroll for 5 minutes in between. So if I use this timer, I can leave my phone in the other room. Today, I'm probably going to be doing a thumb under exercise that I do just to warm up. You can't see my hand super well. If I put it down here, maybe. And essentially, it's just a thumb under, thumb back, just to practice my thumb under. I do this other exercise called Ensley scales, which my teacher gave me. And you just go up, down, and it works your different groups of fingers. There's your trill. And then you work all your different finger groups. Usually I'll redo that Ensley scale I did first. If I did it at like 95 or 100 beats per minute the first time, I'll do it at 100 or 105 the second time, just to bring up the heat a little bit. And for my major scales, I like to do eighth notes for 2 octaves. And then back down. And then triplets for 3 octaves, da, 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 at the same tempo. And then I'll do 16th notes for the full 4 octaves, both hands, etc. So the first piece, now that I'm done with my techniques that I'm working on, is Bach invention number 8. And for this piece, I have the whole thing learned now. I'm just polishing up certain parts. And when I say learned, like I've memorized all the measures. So I know the whole piece, but I don't necessarily have it committed to muscle memory yet. And so what I like to do, and this piece is in 3/4, so I got my 3/4 metronome, is I'll just play this and make sure that I have it all at the tempo I want. So the tempo I want is 80 beats per minute, which the actual piece is like 126, but this is what I want to get it at right now. So that's the tempo I want. And even though I could play it faster than that, I don't need to right now. My goal is to get it a perfect playing of the whole piece, perfect performance at 80 beats per minute, and then speed it up. I don't like to learn easy sections fast and then challenging sections slow. I like to get it all the same and then bring it all up at the same time. So like this would be 100 beats per minute. But I don't want to bring it up yet because I want to make sure I have the rest of it. So I'm actually going to bump this metronome down to 70 for right now because there's a part in here I was struggling with. It does a very challenging thing in the left hand. And what I do is I'll just practice it on a loop. And I like to get it 5 times perfect. And then what I'll do is I'll go back one measure to like implement it into the piece. So let's see, the measure I'm going to be practicing on the metronome. It goes like that. And I think it's just really dissonant, and the left hand leaps are so big that and it doesn't really, yeah, there's a pattern, but it's just irregular. I think that's why it's taking me longer to get it to memory. All right, so I'm gonna do it 5 perfect times. And if I mess up, start over from the beginning. Ta, ta. I didn't hit the last note right, so that didn't count. Here we go. Nope. Yes, 1. 2. 3. 4. So now there's a lot of pressure on this one. Oh man. Yes. All right. So now it might not have been if I was doing it regularly, I would start over. But for the sake of this, now I'm going to go back a measure. So let's see. Yep. 2, 3. Nice. So I would do that 5 times. So now that I've practiced that portion in depth, I'm going to go on to the next one, which was also pretty tough. It sounds like this. All right, so I got to get that 5 times perfect. 2, 3. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Bingo. All right, and you can see when I practice like that with the metronome, I have 2 beats to recollect myself and then go right back into it. So now, right. Oh no, that's my Bach timer. All right, I am gonna do this one more time and then I'm moving on to Moonlight Sonata. All right, so starting from, I'll take it kind of far back. Let's see how much we can do. That was actually the first time I tried to connect those two parts while playing with a metronome, and it really caught me off guard, but I made my way through it. Also, what's cool about playing with a metronome is you notice there was one area where I completely lost 2 beats with my left hand, but because I practiced with a metronome so much, I knew exactly where my next beat would be. So if you're ever performing and you lose your spot, you can't stop playing. You got to just figure out how to get back in. So that's another reason why I love playing with a metronome, because it keeps you honest. You can't stop. You got to keep up with it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I did film the rest of my practice, but I didn't realize how long I was filming for. So I was just editing this video and it's at like 15 minutes. So I'm just gonna cut it off. But I think I've showed you how I make a plan, how I execute the plan, how I handle my warming up, how I would tackle learning a new piece and solidifying it. And I'm actually at my studio where I teach piano right now. I'm getting ready to teach. It's in the afternoon. And I hope if you watched all this video, you were able to get some knowledge out of what I do. And I make these videos a lot to refine what I'm doing too, just to look back or to keep track of what I'm doing. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more of my content, and I'll see you guys later.